The year is 1995, and Marvel wanted to shake up the X-Men universe. So they did, with Age of Apocalypse. This story arc, however, takes place in a different reality, in Earth 295, where Legion goes back in time to kill Magneto, but accidentally kills his father, Professor X. So in a world without Charles Xavier, Apocalypse attacks Earth 10 years sooner than he did in the original 616 timeline, taking control of Earth and altering everything from that point. So we get all the characters we know and love, but in different situations, different character designs, different uniforms, and ultimately leads to these figures. Hello and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. As always, my name is Dan W. Make sure you will follow me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. And today is the day I finally do it. I'm going to open up this whole Marvel Legends Age of Apocalypse Sugar Man Build-A-Figure wave. So strap yourselves in, this may take a while, but if you have been following my channel for any amount of time, you will know I originally skipped this wave, and it was the first Marvel Legends wave I'd skipped in maybe 5-6 years, because I wasn't feeling these Age of Apocalypse figures. It's not my favourite storyline, they're not my favourite character designs, but maybe I can find a place for them in my display after all. Now, people in this wave did end up in the 616. I'm talking about Dark Beast. Great figure. And again, he ended up in the 616. The Sugar Man Build-A-Figure, however, is something I definitely needed for my 616 display, as he creeped his way in there as well. And that means I had to buy all the figures just to build him. So sneaky Hasbro did it again. But I think even people like X-Man ended up in the 616. And I have other characters from this storyline already, which include people like Blink. So maybe I can create my own little Age of Apocalypse corner of my X-Men display. After all, I did do a whole live stream on the channel talking about other potential Age of Apocalypse figures they could release in a wave 2. I'm talking about maybe a Sabretooth to go along with your Wild Child, maybe a Cyclops with long hair, and obviously now he's a Cyclops. But I'll get into more character-specific details as we go through these one by one. But yes, today is the day I'm going to open all these in one video. Maybe the first time ever on the channel I have reviewed a whole wave in one video. So as I said, this may take a while, but let's get to it. So before I open these figures up, let's see what we're getting ourselves in for. So there is the Sugar Man Build-A-Figure. Definitely an impressive looking Build-A-Figure. I've seen reviews online. People are saying maybe it's the best one we've got this year. So again, another reason I had to get this. But to build him, you have to get all of these 7 figures in the wave, as each one of them comes with a piece. So you need Jean Grey, X-Man, Sunfire, Wild Child, Weapon X, Morph, and Dark Beast. You buy all 7 of these figures in the wave, and then you will have all of the pieces you need to build Sugar Man. So I'm going to open these figures up. I will take a quick look at each packaging, but I'll quickly go through them. But yeah, without further ado, let's do it. And let's go in order, shall we? So let's start off with Jean Grey. Here we have Jean Grey in the packaging, and as you can see, she is barely in the packaging because she is clinging onto the sides because the Build-A-Figure pieces just take up so much room. But we have some nice graphics, as I said, just not my favourite versions of these characters. We get a little write-up in the back that reads, Jean Grey can read and project thoughts and stun opponents with pure personic force. And all the other figures in this wave, let's get her open. Here we have everything out of the box, and as I mentioned, Jean doesn't come with any accessories, as there was no room. It was full up with these Build-A-Figure pieces. It comes in 2 parts. I'm assuming it goes like that, but we'll save this until the end of the video. But let's take a closer look at Jean. So just first thoughts before we zoom in. She looks like she came straight out of an 80s pop video with this sort of like futuristic outfit on and the face paint. Not a fan of the short hair. As I said, not my favorite character design, but I must admit it's very accurate to Jean Grey within the Age of Apocalypse storyline. So you can't fault that. But let's take a closer look. See what I mean? This screams 80s futuristic music video. She could definitely form a band with Dazzler right about now. But the face sculpt is not bad. The paint is very clean. As I said, I'm not a fan of this hairstyle on Jean, but it is very nicely sculpted all the way around, and I can't see too many blemishes there. This shoulder sort of piece doesn't come off. It is attached all to the actual sculpt of the upper torso. There's a little bit of sloppy paint here on the corset. You can see some of the red over the skin tone, but the shoulder pads don't hinder articulation. You can still get the arms all the way up, and of course single jointed elbows with the sculpt work on to show it's sort of like a leather jacket. Moving down, you can see the different tones of blues and the reds, and again, even on the back, a little bit of scuffiness there on the blue, but again, it's not nothing you're going to notice once you've got to stand in on the shelf. Down to the feet, just simply painted, no sculpted boot work or anything like that, and she's got no heel, thank God, so you can get her to stand nice and easy. So yeah, the futuristic sort of Age of Apocalypse look for Jean Grey isn't bad at all. It's a good representation of her. Again, just not my favourite Jean. So let's compare her to my favourite Jean. So here's the Jean Grey comparison. Of course, the 295 alternate reality Age of Apocalypse version compared to the 616 Jim Lee outfit. This is all day long my favourite Jean Grey. Undoubtedly, I love the long hair. I'm not really a fan of the short haircut. But yes, here is your Jean Grey comparison. So just one comparison as we try and whiz through these figures. But yeah, there's our Jean Grey. Let's move on. Next up, we have Nate Grey, who was later to be known as X-Man that we get on the box here. So he comes packed with the massive Build-A-Figure hands for the Sugar Man, but no accessories himself. We get the nice artwork of Nate Grey, who is essentially Cable of the 295 universe, just without the techno-organic virus. So yes, that basically sums him up much more than this description that says, Nate Grey travels between dimensions armed with astonishing psychic powers. But yes, all you need to know is it's essentially Cable of the alternative universe. So let's get him open. Here we have Nate out of the box, and as I said, he comes with these massive Build-A-Figure arms for the Sugar Man, so I'll put them to the side. We will look at him shortly. But yes, Nate himself uses a lot of the same body parts as the recent Havoc that came in the Havoc and Polaris 2-pack. But yes, as I've mentioned, he is the son of Scott Summers and Jean Grey, Nate Grey of this alternative universe. One of the most powerful mutants. It's essentially Cable of the 295 universe, just without the techno-organic virus that Cable has. That makes him become even more powerful without the virus, of course. So yes, the figure is very nice, very 90s style, as you can see. I like the effect out of the eye. So let's take a closer look at what we've got here. As I mentioned, Nate comes with no accessories, and it would have been nice to have an interchangeable sort of more neutral head, as I do like that option, but I do like what we've got here. So we've got one whited out eye, and the other one has this massive effect piece on it. It makes for a nice display, and obviously gives you a wink that sort of tells you it's Cable, doesn't it? Because that's exactly what Cable has. I like the hairstyle. The sculpt work is nice, a little grey on the front for the fringe. Yeah, very 90s-esque. He's got like a 90s boy band hairstyle there, but the jacket is the same that we've seen from Havoc, so you sort of know the range of articulation you're going to get. It's double joint, but a big thick jacket's not going to work all the way. There's decent crunch as well. The jacket's short, so it's not going to hinder it in any way. There's a waist swivel as well, of course. These details here are painted on, they're not sculpted on, but they are sculpted on the jacket itself. Sculpted on the knees, but otherwise just simple. We know what we're getting here. But yeah, it's nice to have this figure. As I said, he has jumped around in the universes quite a bit. A very powerful mutant, as you would expect. He did get his own story. It wasn't until much later on he was referred to as X-Man. He was never known as X-Man in the Age of Apocalypse storyline. He was just referred to as Nate Grey. So yeah, that wasn't until later on, but he is now known as X-Man, and now we have him in figure form. Here we have Nate compared to Mummy and Daddy with Scott Summers and of course Jean Grey, and again, this is mixing up the universes here, but still, you get my point. But let's move them out of the way and bring in his alter ego from the other universe, of course. It is the same guy, just a lot less buff, I guess, but that's what happens when you don't get infected with techno-organic viruses and your arm goes all metal. But yes, these are the same people. They are both Nate Summers or Nate Grey, but of alternate universes. So we get 616 Cable and then the 295 Nate Grey. He was never referred to as Cable, but they are the same person. Different universes. You learn something new every day. Next up, we have Sunfire of the 295 universe, and of course it is Yoshida, the Japanese mutant who can control plasma. And okay, I admit it, I prefer this costume design for Yoshida than I do his 616, but I'll show you what that one is in a minute, as we already have it in figure form. But here we have some more arms for the Build-A-Figure of Sugar Man, because he has multiple arms, of course, and then we get this nice translucent body for Yoshida Sunfire. Nice graphics again. On the back, we get a little write-up that reads, "Scorching ionized plasma allows Sunfire to fly, protect himself, and blast his enemies." And then we get the other figures in the wave. Let's get him open. Here's Sunfire out of the box with some more Build-A-Figure arms. Put them to the side. We'll look at him in a minute. And okay, I've already said it, but I admit it, once again, this is a better character design for Sunfire than the 616. So this is a positive thing to come out of Age of Apocalypse. This is my favourite of the way so far. We shall see as we continue through, but I really like this translucent body. Just looks for a cool looking action figure with all these flamed sort of sculpted effects. So definitely let's zoom in and take a closer look. Yoshida is Japanese, of course. That's why I really like this sort of Japanese mask he's got over the sort of flamed out face with all these sculpted details, even on the back here. Really, really nice. This translucent sort of orangey yellow. So if you get some lights to it, it's going to really shine and pop on your display. And again, the black against this sort of yellow translucent plastic is going to pop as well. They've definitely hit that black a couple of times, so it's nice and bold and stands out against the translucentness all the way down to the toes. So yeah, really nice translucent sort of yellowy orangey plastic. He's got like the standard collar that we see in Age of Apocalypse all over the place with those giant balls on it all the way around. But again, the flame, the effect is sort of like a collary piece. And again, on the fists, like we do on Johnny Storm, same on this side here. So I think we've seen these hands before, maybe with the Human Torch, but they work perfectly with Yoshida here, controlling that plasma. But yeah, this is a great looking figure. And the articulation for this body as well is really good. So this is the type of guy you want to get on a flight stand flying up. The shoulders go way past 90. Double jointed elbows work decent, okay-ish. At least they go to 90. The wrists, look at that, the wrists move really good. The head, even with that big piece, will go back a little bit if you want to get him in a flying stand. Ab crunch, waist swivel, thigh swivel, double jointed knees. There is a boot cut as well, you just can't see it because the translucent plastic hides it really well, and an ankle pivot. So yeah, great range of motion. Get this guy on a flight stand. Undoubtedly my favourite of the way so far, and again, I admit it, it's a better character design. See, I told you, the 295 Sunfire design is definitely better than the 616. Nothing wrong with the classics, of course, but Yoshida, for a guy who can control plasma and stuff, this flamed up version is so much nicer. Get it on a flight stand, get some lights behind it, it's definitely gonna pop. But you let me know which version you prefer. Here we have Wildchild, and in the 295 universe, unfortunately, Wildchild has the sort of intelligence of a dog and can't really communicate verbally, so they have to keep him on this chain to prevent him from hurting any of the X-Men, because he is a good guy. He is teamed up with Sabretooth, of course. They have to sort of treat him like a pet, and that is why we get this chain with Wildchild, as he's always attached to a chain with Sabretooth. That's why I was surprised we didn't get Sabretooth in this wave at all, to be fair. But we have Wildchild, and it looks very nice in the box with the chain accessory and a Build-A-Figure piece for the Sugarman. Nice art on the side as well. On the back, we get a little right of the Reeds. Enhanced regeneration and superhuman senses makes Wildchild an excellent tracker. As I said, unfortunately, he's like the dog. He's like the pet of the X-Men. But let's get him open. Here's everything you get in the box. As I said, a chain and a Build-A-Figure piece that we'll look at in a minute. But the chain does actually attach onto his back. So let's just get straight into it, zoom in and check out this figure. I really like this face sculpt for Wildchild. As I said, he's a feral beast, and that's exactly what this face is. Look at that growling face with the fangs, and the mouth is painted, those whited out eyes with the hair sort of over the face. And it's sort of sculpted in a way where he's in like a pouncing pose in action. So yes, really nice face sculpt, and he's got that sort of trademark Age of Apocalypse collar on as well. And if you follow that all the way around and lift up the hair, you can see there's actually a little clip, and that is where you clip in his chain piece. So you just firmly clip that in like so, and it does fit nice and firmly, so he literally dangles on it. So you can see he will dangle. It's a strong grip. But it's just a shame that the chain itself isn't really got any detail on it. It's just a light grey plastic. So maybe you might be better off getting a real chain and attaching it, as it may look for some better posing. So the rest of the figure is quite simple. It seems to be on the sort of more lean pizza Spider-Man body, as you can see those butterfly joints there. So you do get a nice range of motion, which is good because this character can get in some sort of animal-like poses, if you will. There's some more details on his feet though. If I zoom in a little bit, you can see he's got like those disgusting sort of nails and sort of animal toes, but other than that, he's just on sort of this mustard sort of jumpsuit, so no real details, but you can see all the sculpt of the body. But yeah, you're gonna get this guy posed up. You want to get someone holding his chain, but we sort of need Sabretooth for that. So this is the only Sabretooth I currently have, so it's gonna have to work for now. But the Sabretooth from the Age of Apocalypse, as you can imagine, the character design is slightly different, so this isn't the best pairing, but just pretend this is an Age of Apocalypse Sabretooth Sabretooth, and you can see here I've actually got the chain wrapped around his wrist, so it works really nicely. And of course, Wild Child never stands up straight like a human. He's got like a brain of an animal, so he's always crouched down like this, ready to attack. So this will pose up really nicely in the 6-inch scale once we have an Age of Apocalypse sort of Sabretooth. So here's me saying I didn't even want this wave, and now I'm asking for more figures. What's wrong with me? Even in an alternative 295 universe, this guy is still one of the most recognizable characters. It is, of course, Weapon X, aka Wolverine. They just don't call him that in this universe. They call him Weapon X. But we know why, and as you can see, he's got like this stump rather than a hand. So that's like the sort of unique twist on this character, which I will explain why in a minute. You can see those stumpy legs as well for Sugar Man, and also like a piece so you can have it without the claws. But yes, clearly Wolverine, but let's call him Weapon X. So we get the nice graphic art on the side. On the back, we get a right up that reads, armed with adamantium claws and superhuman healing abilities, Weapon X joins the battle against Apocalypse. So again, it's clearly Wolverine. Let's get him open. So here's Weapon X. There's the foot for Sugar Man we'll look at in a minute. And Weapon X comes with just an extra stump piece, which I'll show you when I zoom in. But just overall, yeah, I sort of do like the quirkiness of this character. It's like, I like figures that make you have a conversation. And this is clearly Wolverine at first glance. But like, you're thinking, well, why has he got a stumpy hand? So it's a conversation starter, if you will. And if you want to know why, it's because he had a fight with Cyclops, who's a bad guy in this universe, and he cut his arm off, so he's actually got no hand. But thankfully Wolverine did stab Cyclops in the eye and turn Cyclops into an actual Cyclops. True story. But yes, clearly Apocalypse, when he took over the world, he destroyed all barbers and combs, because this hair is crazy even for Wolverine. But it is a very nice face sculpt as well. You can see some of the sort of 5 o'clock shadow on there. Very hairy arms as well, painted on. But yes, undoubtedly Wolverine's, if the claws didn't give it away. So let's zoom in and see what we've got. So here we have that crazy face sculpt for Wolverine, and I must admit, this is very nicely done. The paintwork, the 5 o'clock shadow, the teeth, the hair is crazy. Yeah, I'm liking it a lot, to be fair. Not a bad effort. Again, not my favourite character design for Wolverine, but I have to say the execution of this figure for this particular character design is spot on. They really can nail these Wolverine figures now with these body molds. You can see the butterfly joints in there with the red paint that goes along with the sort of spikes here. You got the X bout as well, which is a separate piece that hides the sort of waist swivel, which is there. So we got the claws on one hand, which, to be fair, out of packaging, my claws are pretty straight considering. Usually my claws are all over the place when I get a Wolverine figure, but they're not bad at all. And then he has his stump with the claws, of course, on this side. So again, it's a stump with 3 claws, so we can still do some attacking. But we do get an interchangeable stump piece, so let's swap that out. There you go, simply done. You just swap it out, and now you have the claws and the stump separate. So there it is, Stumpy Wolverine. That could still do some damage hitting someone with that. It looks like a giant tin. But yes, Wolverine looks good all the way down to the feet. Simple design, to be fair, with the blue and then just a hint of red. And again, you can see the red on the head. But yeah, even with all this hair, they've given it enough space so you can get his head in sort of any crazy pose. But yeah, this is a good body for Wolverine. As I said, there, Hasbro now to nail a Wolverine by now. So yeah, crazy character design for Wolverine, but the execution of the figure is very nice. So quickly, here we have Weapon X compared to the more traditional 616 style Weapon X. And then here we have an unmasked Wolverine head, just to show you what it's like to be in a universe that actually have barbers that are still open. Nice trim hairstyle, but still clearly Logan. And then this guy's just wild. He can't even shave his arms. Look at those hairy arms. But yeah, that is the unique character design. You can tell it's 616 versus 295. Stump, no stump, claws, Weapon X, Weapon X. You get the gist. Moving on. Here we have Morph. Now, it may not be the Morph we want for our current X-Men displays, but it's Morph nevertheless. Now, in the 616 universe, Changeling died, but in the 295 universe, Changeling is essentially Morph because he never died. So it's the same character that we know from the 616. But yeah, looks quite unique. You got that character design from the Age of Apocalypse as well, that collar with those balls on it we see all the time. He also comes with a leg for Sugar Man, but again, lack of accessories for the actual character himself. On the side, we get a nice smiley picture of Morph. As he says many times, he wants to die with a smile on his face, as he's very quirky and comical. He has a write-up that reads, "A natural mimic, Kevin Sidney transforms himself into any shape at will." And of course, list of all the figures in the wave, etc, etc. Let's get him open. So here's Morph with all his accessories, which are nothing apart from the leg for Sugar Man, which we're getting very close to building. Move that out of the way. And yeah, the cape seems a little bit oversized, as it sort of help him stand. It's like a stand you get with the figure, as it seems to be a little bit longer than the figure itself. Maybe the same size. Either way, it's helping him stand, which I'm not mad about, but it seems a little bit oversized for the character. But I'm thinking that is the character design. You can see the sort of Age of Apocalypse style collar as well, and it will clip into the back. At first I thought this was the Bucky cap, but I've noticed it's got butterfly joints, so it's not the Bucky cap. But yeah, it will plug in there. You can stand. It's got like those oversized sort of I don't know, pirate boots on with these oversized gloves with a dark blue and black, which sort of makes it look like the shadow. But yeah, the face is worth having a talk about though. Let's have a look at that. So firstly, showing off a white head against a white background probably isn't the best, but hopefully that will focus for you. So my question is, why has he only got one eyebrow? It's like he fell asleep and his mates were playing a joke on him and shaved his eyebrow off. But I get what Hasbro were trying to do. They were trying to give him a quirky sort of pose with the raised eyebrow, the little grin, but it just looked a bit odd against the white skull and that just one black little line. So maybe it'll be worth painting over that just to get a simple sort of white head rather than that just one black line. But I do like the sort of blackness around the eyes and the grey sort of hint on the actual pupils, if you will. But the little grin, I like the little grin. So I'm not mad about that, just that random black line don't really get. But yeah, there you go. Hopefully that works out well. But you can see the sort of trademark Age of Apocalypse collar, as you've already mentioned. And then looking at the rest of the figure, as I said, it's not the Bucky cap because you can see the butterfly joints. But yeah, the black sort of just looks like the shadow on the actual figure, which I'm not mad about. It makes the gloves stand out a little bit more, and the boots, of course, because they're bright yellow. Fisted hands, which I'm not mad about. I'm fine with that. But yeah, good range of articulation for the body they've chose for this figure. But the cape, maybe a soft good cape would go great with this, so maybe some customizers out there can get Morph looking really fun in your display, but otherwise not bad at all. And since we don't have a 616 Morph or Changeling yet, here we have Morph compared to Hellfire Hank. I knew we'd make it in this video somewhere. We may have saved the best till last, as he is the reason I went down this Age of Apocalypse rabbit hole anyway, because I love Beast as a character, and Dark Beast did find his way into the 616 universe, but he originated in Age of Apocalypse, and Brandon sold me this at such a good price I couldn't say no. So it's Beast's fault I have this whole wave. But yes, this is an undoubtedly great looking figure just in the box. You get the massive sugar hammer for the Sugar Man. We even get some interchangeable hands for Beast like we did in the previous version, which is rare since a lot of these figures, well, virtually all of them haven't come with accessories, so at least we get that option. But yes, Dark Beast committed evil experiments on mutants under Apocalypse, of course. So yeah, evil Dark Beast, nice to have him in figure form. So we get evil Dark Beast on the side of the box. We get a little write-up that reads, Dr. Hank McCoy consistently experiments on himself to enhance his superhuman powers. And then rest of the rave, but this is the last one. Let's get him open. As expected, Hank looks great out of the box in his evil dark form, and he can actually hold the hammer for the Sugar Man very nicely as well. So it always makes me laugh that if people don't understand the Build-A-Figure concept, think this hammer actually goes with Dark Beast, you can't be mad at him. It doesn't look too bad, does it? But there's his interchangeable hand. And yeah, it's basically the same as the blue Beast that we got recently, but the lower torso, obviously now Beast is wearing trousers. He's got some dreadlocks, or his hair's looking different, more evil looking. The darker tones work very nice as well. So yeah, this guy is looking good. Let's take a closer look. Now look at that evil grin for Hank. I really like that. I like his sort of sinister grin with the teeth sort of sticking out, those tusks with the yellow eyes work very nicely. You can see the subtle bit of red for those hair ties, and then you can see the earrings as well in his sort of pricked out ears. And yeah, the hair is just a big evil mess. I like the dark greys and the black sort of tones to sort of bring out the shadow, and that's on all of the figure as well. They sort of don't skimp on the sort of shadowy effect. So it's the same articulation, which is great, by the way, with these butterfly joints and then the diaphragm ball and then the ab crunch as well. So yeah, very, very nice. You're going to get this guy in some great poses. The trousers are sort of a metallic blue, which I really like as well. It works very nice with the rest of the tones of the figure, but they shine into the lights a little bit more as well. So I like that sort of look. But yes, overall, Beast is a beast. Look at that. The hair sculpt as well, all the way back there. Very nice. So again, you know me, Beast is one of my favourite figures, favourite characters and favourite Marvel Legends. So yeah, now I just got one of my favourite figures in his evil form. Not mad about it at all. So we get the two hands, honestly, on him, which are just the grippy hand and the open hand. But we do get those changes, which are the flat palm and the fist. So he can punch people, but then he can also wave as well. So that's always nice to have those options. But yeah, just overall, I'm not going to go over the articulation or anything crazy, because if you have the previous Beast, Beast, you know what you're getting yourself in for. Just trust me when I say it's one of the best legends. And yeah, this is very nice. I need to get some sort of vials or some sort of experiments for him to hold in the display. But yeah, no complaints for Beast. Very, very nice. Here we have our ultimate Beast comparison, as we have the good versus evil, light versus dark, yin versus yang, our dark Beast versus our 616 blue Hank McCoy. I have my animated style Anthony's Customs head on there, just because that's the look I prefer for Beast on the shelf. It's all about that animated show for me. You know that already. But yeah, love these two of my favourite figures for sure. I'm very curious if these two clashed in the comics, because I can't remember off the top of my head. Someone let me know in the comments below. But yeah, these two are great. And it all comes down to this. So you, like me, if you have opened all of the figures in this Age of Apocalypse wave, you should have all of the pieces you need to build Sugarman. So of course he has 4 arms, 2 legs, and then this big massive body. So instead of you watching me stumble on camera putting this together, I'm sure you can figure out where his arms and legs go. So I'm going to build this, and let's see what all the fuss is about. Okay, I get it. This is a bit of a beast of a builder figure. So this is stumpy-legged, 4-armed, disgusting Sugarman. So he doesn't have a 616 counterpart. He is unique to Age of Apocalypse's universe. He works with Mr. Sinister. He sort of enslaves humans and mutants and does all types of weird experiments on them. And obviously he's a mutant himself with crazy abilities like healing. He can control his mass. He's super strong. He has some crazy tongue that can cut through different elements and whatnot. And then obviously he has this grotesque look as well. And he did manage to sneak his way into the 616. That's why he is a character I wanted for my display. But yeah, this is a very, very unique character design and disgusting, but in all the good ways, as a villain should be. So as you can see, he's got 4 massive arms, all double joints. They've all got elbow joints and shoulder joints and move around. His legs are a little bit stumpy, but there is motion on there as well. And then he's got this big massive grin on his face. So there's only one face plate. You can't change the expression, but let's be honest, this is the only expression you need for Sugarman. So if I spin him around, you'll see he's got this big muscular back where you can see his other arms, and he's got this harness piece, and it was very easy to assemble. And yeah, this guy is monstrous. So let's just zoom in a little bit and see what type of details we've got here. Look at that. It's a face only a mother could love. So look at the tongue. It sticks out from the body. It's a separate sculpted piece. And the mouth is quite hollow with all these teeth separately sculpted. I can literally shove my finger in there like Sugarman is biting me right now. I like the beady, orangey red eyes with like the darker shadowing around it. And then these big bushy eyebrows with these like devilly horns with this, like, this military haircut. He's got this harness sort of on him. And as you can see, you can actually store his weapon in the harness. There is a little attachment there that you can just slide the hammer through, so that way you can utilize all the arms. Now the arms are all the same. They're the same arms, but they all have unique hands. So you get a fist, a point, a grab, because he's got like these really sharp claws, and then obviously this one is for holding the hammer. So you can swap all the hands around if you want. There's no unique pegs or anything like that, so you can pose it however you want. He's got little stubby feet, but you do get single jointed knee and then ankle pivot. There's also a fight, swivel, and there is a little bit of movement, but again, he's got little stubby legs. He can't do much, but he's nice and heavy. He can stand, not a problem at all. It's very sturdy considering how heavy and weighty it is. But yeah, look at it. It's disgusting and menacing, but all in the good ways, as a villain should be. So as I said, all these hands are unique with their like separately sculpted rings on. This one's got like rings on all over the hand, where this one at the top, for example, the pointing one's just got a couple of rings. But yeah, this guy is definitely going to be a unique piece. This is the type of figure my girlfriend will hate, because she will say, what is that ugly thing that she just doesn't understand? But it's the 295 universe. As I said, he doesn't have a 616 counterpart. He is very unique to Age of Apocalypse. So it makes sense for him to be the builder figure in this wave. And yeah, what a beast of a builder figure. Pow! And we did it. Marvel Legends, X-Men, Age of Apocalypse, Sugarman, Build-A-Figure Wave 2020 complete. And if you have stuck around long enough in this video to hear me ramble, then thank you very much. As I said, I don't hate these figures. I don't hate Age of Apocalypse. It was just a gimmick that I leaned into. There have been so many great collectibles this year. I had to stop and start and pick and choose. And unfortunately, this is one that just was left on the back burner. But I am glad I went back and backtracked it. There is room in my collection for for a little Age of Apocalypse corner, and I did a whole live stream about what other figures they could give us if a wave 2 comes around. Now I have these figures. I think I sort of want a wave 2 so I can sort of flesh out this section of the universe on the shelf. I know, crazy, but go and check out my live stream. I'll put the links in the description below where me and Brandon just go through tons of different characters and what their designs look like and what we could see in figure form in the future. But overall, this is a very nice wave, a solid wave, very nice figures of the Age of Apocalypse representations of these characters. Not my personal favourite representations, mind you, but still great figures nonetheless. And again, these are someone's favourites. I'm talking about Dan Yun. These are his favourites, and this video is dedicated to him after all. But yes, my favourites in this wave is, of course, the Dark Beast. The Build-A-Figure is a must. Even though I hate this style of Wolverine, it's a very nice figure. But yeah, even Sunfire is really nice. But we definitely need a new Sabretooth now to go with Wildchild. It just doesn't seem right without it. But you let me know your favourites in the comments below. Are you like me? Were you hesitating about this wave and then you've had to backtrack? Always curious to hear your thoughts. So let me know in the comments below. But you know what to do, people. You want to support the channel, then watching this video, I thank you first and foremost. But there are plenty more on the videos tab. Find the playlists, but most importantly, please, please, please hit that subscribe button. Much appreciated. You want to support the channel a little bit more, you can on Patreon. Much appreciated. Links in the description below. But until next time, people, my name is Dan W, and I'll see you on the next one.